Hey, guys. Welcome back to another 90 Day Chat. This is Irene here, Faith, Love, and Trends, talking about 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way, one of the spin-offs of the many spin-offs of the 90 Day World. 90 Day Fiance is a reality show that follows couples, one person from the US, the other from another country. We see, regular relationship ups and downs, along with cultural barriers, language boundaries, the whole legal system when it comes to getting married to someone from another country, the whole process where they only have 90 days to do it and get that 90-day visa. It is a 90-day fiance. We got the deadlines, we got all that. That can add a lot of pressure to a relationship. But now we are with Mignon and Anthony. These two are already married, but they're having challenges within their marriage. And he actually moved back to her country because of some issues here in the US. It was too much. Mignon was the main breadwinner, basically. Now they're gonna try to role reverse, but Mignon's been kind of a hater, and she's been putting her man down as if he's not capable of meeting the standard that she met. But she did get herself totally stressed and lost connection with her own son. So, she needs help herself. But right now they're cooling it down. They're kind of relaxing together, doing a little date night, and they're going to this goat cheese place where there's goat cheese. That's all that she knows. But he lets us know that, hey, she's really going to be there milking goats, and then they're going to partake of this beautiful cheese. And he said, the cheese is what bonded them. They don't have this cheese in America, but this special cheese that they both enjoy kind of bonded them. So it seems like a nice date night. Except for Mignon's dressed like she's going to a business meeting. She looks like she's trying to go to a, somewhat classy business meeting with the heels and all of that, but she sees that she's going to be stepping in mud and other things as she gets to this goat farm. So they're going to do some goat milking, and Anthony is in his element. He's loving these goats. He's hanging out with the guy that's showing him how to do this. I almost feel like he wants to get a job with this guy, and he wants to possibly see if he can make a living with this. And he presents that later to Mignon, but Mignon, of course, has to have a total hissy fit. Like, why didn't you tell me to dress a certain way? I'm going back to LA. She couldn't take the smell. She sprayed perfume everywhere. She kept the perfume bottle in her nostrils. And then she was upset, saying that he left her for the goats because she wasn't about to step foot. She was nearby the goats. I think she went in there momentarily and then she was gone. And he was having fun with the goats, and the goat guy. Now for the du fromage. Now it's time to taste the fruits of the hard work that Anthony put in and the tantrum that his wife put in. Now she's happy she's able to taste the cheese. He's feeding her the cheese. Again, this is her favorite cheese. He says, maybe would you like to have this lifestyle? This could be, I'm thinking he's saying it could be a business, but he's saying more of a hobby. I kind of think he wants it to be a business, but I think Mignon was going to probably try to shoot that down. So he's like, well, can we kind of have this lifestyle, get us some animals, have like a farm life? Yeah, right. Mignon really seems like she's completely against that. She's the city girl for her. And she's saying, well, that's great that you might want to do this as a hobby possibly, but it's not going to help us right now. She's upset that the date night was not what she expected. And he was like, I didn't really have any bad intentions on this. And she says, well, he should have negotiated with me on this idea of where we're going to go. She's tired of his games. They need to stop. Like, she's really painting him as the bad guy. And I don't really think he had bad intentions that way. She's saying right now with her love life with her husband, it needs improvement. Things have improved with her son after moving to London, but it hasn't gotten better with her husband. To me, honestly, the man cannot win. Sorry, Anthony. I did feel it like it was a little bit pranky, but I also felt like she could have had a little bit more fun with it, or just not have such a tantrum. Like, even if she didn't participate, she could say, "Well, I see your thought, honey. I do love the cheese, but please just never do this again, because I'm not gonna step in all of this mess." Now that would have been better, but she just has to like totally have a full temper tantrum, completely hate on him. I think she just took it too far. Like I said, he can't win. So we're back to Chloe and Johnny, and I was watching the Pillow Talk version a bit of this show, and one of the alums, I forgot his name, but he's always funny, him and his wife. They were watching it, and he was like, Chloe's mom's making them offers they can't refuse. She's giving the Godfather, trying to get them to move to Boston, and she's going to fund their lifestyle. That was really a funny joke that he dropped there, but she's like, well, they pick back up where they left off a bit. She's like, well, I know a way where you guys can, live a good lifestyle or something like this. She's like, well, what? Play the lottery. He said, I do that every weekend. So how are we gonna have this good lifestyle? She said, well, like I said, come back to Boston with me. I'll give you a primary role in my business. Johnny, you could give him a position as well in my business. You guys won't have to pay rent. And Johnny says, well, you know what? Challenges are needed. It's a little bit too perfect here that everything's going to be handed to us. Challenges are important. I think we need to, meet this challenge together. He says he loves his lifestyle there in Aruba. He loves the water. And, mom's like, okay, that's maybe true, but you need to be a little bit more realistic here. He's going to have to do some things to prove that he can provide. And he's like, I really want to do that. I want to show that I can provide for her. She basically wants her baby back with her. And they're both like, well, but for her, she's saying, why struggle? I've done all the work. I have this amazing lifestyle, and now I just want to pass it to my child. That's just what happens when you have this type of lifestyle, that you want to pass it down to your kids so they won't have to go through what you went through. I get it. So now the next day they're off to the beach, and the mom's like tells Johnny to go fetch them some drinks. Not like he's a waiter or anything, but I think they wanted some girl talk time. So she gives Johnny her card, and he's like, wow, this is a heavy card. I guess she's trying to showboat how much money she has and how much weight she carries in the world with her finances. So he's like, well, I'll be back in a couple hours. So I'm like, was he going to spend the money, or is the card just so heavy he can't get to the bar fast enough? Like, I don't know what his joke was, but it was kind of funny. She's talking about her retirement and all of that. She says she misses her daughter and she really wants her to come home. She doesn't want to leave her. But then, Chloe has to kind of throw Johnny under the bus after this whole situation, saying her and Johnny can't really do long distance. And she's like, well, if you guys should be able to do it at some point, if you really care about each other. But then she reveals he brought some girl to Florida for this young lady's birthday. And the mom kind of really got upset that he did something like that. And she's saying, well, Chloe's trying to make up for it, say it was an early on issue in their relationship. And mom's like, well, you guys have some trust issues. And I think that we all can agree that that's true, especially how she had to go sneak and spy on him across the beach, watching him do his pirate tricks on his boat for his boat job. So we know that they have trust issues. She said that he did do a lot to help rebuild their trust, and in a way she regrets telling her mom about this. Honestly, I feel like she should have told her mom, but maybe not in that setting. And especially if she wants her mom to have like the best uh, impression of the situation and the type of man he is. And if she sees he is working on himself, she really should have pushed that harder. But from what they edited to look like, it looks like, once she spilled that, again, mom's going to get upset anyway and not going to want that for her daughter. But that became the focus, and mom's probably not even trying to see that he's trying to be a good guy and change his ways. That's something she should have probably told her mom when she returned home. And also put some little butter on top of the roll and tell her that he's really trying his best and he's made up for it. So she kind of made situations and matters a little bit worse for them if she's planning on staying in Aruba and trying to work this relationship through. So for Jenny and Submit, we keep getting little snippets from them, and it's all about the family cafe and all of the stress of that. I mean, they could have their own show based on this little family cafe, honestly. They could just have their own social media show and just show how, ups and downs of the family cafe. So it's day 3, and Submit's like, things are going kind of okay. His friend slash Jenny's arch enemy Rohit shows up. He's the one that allowed them to purchase. He actually let them rent the equipment for so long until they pay it off. But that's Jenny's arch enemy. And they were surprised to see him. He's like, well, why no invitation? Why you guys didn't invite me to your new cafe? He makes a joke about, he asked for the spaghetti, Jenny's spaghetti dish, because we know that's all that Jenny knows how to cook. So he took a shot at Jenny, but it was like a half shot, trying to compliment and see. I don't know what it was, but the two go out to have a little man-to-man chat in front of the restaurant, and Rohit kind of judges him, saying, where's the people? He's basically dooming him for failure, being negative. There's entrepreneurs that do that to each other. But Jenny says, he's trying to put us down, but none of his businesses failed either. So that's probably why he's trying to put us down the way that he is. He really does need, if that's the case, he really does need to focus on his own business and stop trying to get into Submits. The only reason he needs to be there is to see if he can collect his money for the appliances that they're supposed to be leasing to own. And if anything, I would try to give them a boost and just at least cheer them on, because you have a little money stake in this, sir. Jenny comes and gives him a free cup of coffee. Excuse me. And the other day, the young man that they were trying to give him the coffee, but they couldn't figure out the machine. It wasn't even plugged up. He had to tell them that. That's when you should have been giving out the free coffee, Jenny. Or at least tell them to come back and get a free coffee or get a free something. But it looks like the coffee is the big draw for them. So he made fun of the fact that, hey, that you guys gave me a free coffee. You're not gonna be making any money. He makes fun of the fact that his parents are cooking, and Jenny, he kind of pegged Jenny, saying, she's helping today, but tomorrow she's gonna be tired and won't want to come in, and she's getting up there, kind of making fun of her age as well. He's basically saying this is not a real business. He says, no, but this is a family concept. As we are a family, we welcome these people in to get their orders, and they become family. They see us on a regular basis, and they're a part of the family. We have foods that remind them of home and their families. This is a lot of college students that we're catering to. So he has a good business plan, I think, on some level. The whole family vibe, I think, is good. Having those home style foods that the kids don't get anymore because they're out in college and not at home anymore. But Rohit plays mind games. He's being a jerk. And Sumit's really actually getting worried off of what this guy's saying. And I'm like, Sumit, don't even. Keep trying, keep working. I know it's difficult, especially with Jenny. She's kind of a downer herself in another way. So you got two downers around. One that's supposed to be your spouse and another that's supposed to be your friend. Submit, you got to rise above that. At least your parents look like they're trying to help. They can kind of be difficult to deal with too, but at least they're putting the effort in. And even though Jenny is a downer, she's kind of putting some effort in too. So I wish them the best, and I wish Schmidt the best, because it looks like a lot of this is riding on him and his idea and his plan. So I hope it all comes to fruition. Love to all our entrepreneurs and small businesses here in the U.S. and around the world. I get it. I've been in the small business arena with my mom for many years now, working with family. It can be a little bit difficult. There are benefits when I think about also the way that Chloe works with her mom, but there all can be some setbacks as well, such as what's going on with Submit and his family. I'm not against the whole Nepo baby thing, but putting your dues in definitely is a thing. And some people do have it easy with the Nepo baby, and even Nepo babies can struggle because, again, they do have to put their dues in and sometimes be in the shadow of their family members who may have done it better than they could even think to do it. But we can always set our own mark, set our own stage, make our own lane, and we don't have to be like everybody else. We don't have to be like everybody else's business. We can find our own niche to be successful, right, guys? Okay, we're closing with Luke and Madeline. Luke is fighting for love. He's using this gift to woo his woman back in. And she's really like, she's like, I got a gift. Comes through the door. She's not really paying him any mind till she sees it's this puppy. She loves it. She already has a dog. She does not need a second dog. I forgot she had a dog. Now she has a second one. She's so excited. Um, he said he moved some money around, was able to get 2K to get this puppy. Excuse me. He wanted to name the puppy Chewy like Chewbacca. It does. He did kind of look like Chewbacca, but she's like, no, Kairos, which is the name of my cousin. So I'm like, okay, I like that name. My little baby cousin. Shout out to Kairos. But it means God's perfect timing. Now, she's happy. He's like, are you happy? You're not mad anymore? And she's like, well, she lets us know her love language is her man takes care of her, listens to her because she did want that and he did listen to the fact she wanted that. She wants acts of service and care and someone to make her feel special. That's her love language. I can get that. But it does seem like it's like she likes to get gifts. He's like, well, let's move on and everything. She's like, well, I'm gonna move on, but I'm gonna be cautious. She's trying to tell him he needs to get his act together even after getting this gift. He just wants her to just move on and put you to the side and love him again. It's not going to be that easy, sir. You did okay with the puppy. I think you worked a miracle, but she's not going to make it that easy for you. So now they're going to drive to the wedding, getting everything packed into the car. She says she's still unsure about him, but she loves her dogs. She won't help him with any of the packing. She's kind of controlling and yelling at him. He's stressed. He's putting all the stuff there. She asked him to help. He asked her to help actually, and she's like, "No, I'm holding the dogs. You do this. You're the man." So when they're in the car, the new dog Kairos is just laying on him. And she's like, "Well, this." He's like, putting it in her face. Well, this dog likes me better because you never really help him. I'm always doing everything. He's like, well, I'm the woman. You're supposed to do the man's work. Treat me like a queen. That's the way it goes. They, get into this little tit for tat. And he finally stands up for himself and says, I cook, I clean, I work and pay the bills. Well, she's like, well, you need to be a man. Paying the bills is the minimal of what you need to do. And, he is kind of acting like a baby. He says, I'm being disrespected constantly by this 20-year-old. Look, dude, you chose a 20-year-old. What did you think was going to happen? You picked it. I've talked about this before, and I've argued or fussed at him about this before. You made that choice. He says basically lets her know this isn't the life I want. You seem like you think you're the boss over everything in the whole world, which sounds like something a kid would say to another kid. Childish behavior on both sides, and he's got over 10 years on her. She's like, basically, if you don't like my behavior, who I am, then leave. That's basically what he should have done a long time ago. It's just trying to put up with it, maybe try to change it. It's not working, it's not happening. I don't know what to say. These two are a messy mess, and they're on their way to their wedding. So, will they make it down the aisle? Something tells me they will. And they'll make each other miserable. but they're gonna love it. I don't know. I'm confused at this point. So what are you guys? Thoughts, comments, questions? Let me know. Email me at cbiztv@yahoo.com. Drop it in the comments. All love. Check us out on our other platforms at cbiztvmedia.com. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Faith, love, and trends. This is Irene. All the best. God bless.